Anyone who has spent time on a hot, sticky, uncomfortable beach knows what to expect of a place like Sweaty Palms. But this seaside resort has the added frisson of being in the shadow of spluttering Nora, a dormant but nonetheless menacing volcano, and suffering from frequent earthquakes. In short, I suggest you construct your puny little sandcastles elsewhere.
Greetings, Soulswind here, and welcome to Let's Play 2 Point Hospital. In the last episode, we started with a format change, and you'd have seen how the episodes were shortened. 3 stars in 1 episode. This hospital, Sweaty Palms. The Sweaty Palms Resort is a delightful holiday destination if you don't mind the frequent earthquakes and other natural disasters. Welcome to Sweaty Palms Resort, a beautiful holiday destination. Sadly, it's also plagued by earthquakes, volcanic activity, and other natural disasters. Also, some unnatural disasters, thanks to the Orb Foundation, if the conspiracy theorists are to be believed. I recommend hiring a few janitors to keep machines repaired and clear up any debris. Explosions can be a bit upsetting in my experience. Oh, and some air conditioning would be nice. It's boiling around here. Let's begin. Firstly, I'm going to set up the hospital with the basics, and the key idea here is to follow the discovered illnesses in building our clinics. But of course, we'll need to start with a receptionist counter as well as a GP clinic. In terms of staff hiring and staff skills, they're all random. So we might get lucky and get someone really good, or we might not. There's nothing we can do about this other than simply restarting the game since it's really early into the game anyway. Now, the 1-star hospital requirements. We need to cure 15 patients with premature mummification. I'll go into more details about this illness later. Next, we need a cure rate of 60%. Hospital value, 750,000. Thermal comfort, 60%. Now let's start with a new illness, to cure 15 patients with premature mummification. To cure the new illness, we have a new technology, the Cryptology room. It needs to be researched though, so we have to pray that we get a doctor with the researcher skill, and only the researcher skills, very early in the game. In my playthrough, I didn't want to wait, so I built a marketing lab and then ran a campaign for researchers. Minimum required size for the Cryptology is 4x3. This therefore makes it different from the usual 3x3 or 4x4 that we build. We do have a few clinics that are already in this dimension, therefore the Cryptology should fit beside them easily. With regards to the illness itself, patients afflicted with this illness look like zombies walking around, wrapped in bandages, both arms outstretched in front of them. There is a challenge to them exhibiting this trait. When there's an epidemic of the abominable curse type, the traits exhibited by the affected individuals are the same. They walk like zombies too, with 2 arms outstretched in front, thereby making it more difficult to identify those that are truly affected. We've got a new disaster, the volcanic eruption. During volcanic eruptions, the entire screen will shake violently, machines get damaged, molten rocks fall down onto the ground, and some of those rocks remain on fire even after landing. Janitors will need fire extinguishers to put out those fires. The encounters with the volcanic eruptions eventually taught me something new, a problem that I never had to worry about until this hospital. I'll go into more details later. After the slightly rougher start, where we are introduced to new challenges, new technology, new visitors, and new illnesses, new disasters or any new game mechanics introduced in this hospital, for example, changing cold to hot and therefore using air conditioners instead of radiators. So long as we remain prudent on our expansion plans for the hospital, getting to 1 star, 2 stars and 3 stars, it's more of a matter of just waiting. Of course, we cannot neglect hiring, staff promotions and matching their pay, training, upgrading, buying new buildings, constructing new clinics, researching the new technology, followed by using the research to generate $20,000 every research cycle, and occasionally sending patients home when the hospital gets too crowded. I don't think I'll narrate everything I've built on our journey to 3 stars, but there's a very important point I want to emphasize and emphasize again. Have multiple fire extinguishers in the rooms, in the corridors, wherever it's convenient to add them. We will need them. Also, for this hospital in particular, hire some more janitors. The main aim is to ensure that the machines are well maintained, something that I failed to do here. Anyway, so if we find that the machine's maintenance bar is on average below 50%, it's time to increase the headcount of the janitors. On our journey to 1 star, something interesting did happen. Let's take a look. We had a resignation. I don't know which one, let's find out. Was it the researcher? It was a researcher. The researcher was always upset and eventually left. He was upset all the time and he left. Okay, as of July of the 5th year, I had 1 more resignation. It's just like they just don't know how to take a break. Like, there's so few things that they need to do and yet they don't take a break. They just disappear and they just leave. I think it was the new research staff that I just trained, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a newly trained research staff. Spent 10k and just left. I don't know what's wrong with these research staff. Why do they keep on leaving? Yeah, another research staff just left right away, just like that. Something isn't right. They're just not happy. Maybe because like, oh, it's radiator, so it's like really warm in there, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's why. Now I know what's wrong. That was so silly, like the game doesn't even tell you exactly what's going on sometimes. Nope, the game actually did tell us what happened. If we had checked the details of the angry staff, we might have observed some hints that it's always related to the temperature being too warm, and we might be able to do something to alleviate the situation. In October of the 1st year, we had our first volcanic eruption. I hadn't noticed that it meant something different. As mentioned, the burning rocks on the ground require janitors to use fire extinguishers to put them out. However, the fire extinguishers are not automatically replaced by the janitors. Eventually, we'll run out of fire extinguishers. Furthermore, as we continue to expand the hospital and somehow neglected hiring more janitors, the state of repairs for our machines began to deteriorate. So by November of the 6th year, we witnessed this. We now see fires in our machine though.
Fire test. There's really a fire. That's the test.
Yeah, finally we are seeing fires in the machines. It's not exactly a core mechanic or something, it's just something additional. It's nothing to be too concerned about or anything, just have janitors work on it. The first fire in our hospitals. This was just the beginning of a series of troubles. Once again, please remember to add more janitors and replace as well as add fire extinguishers. We only got 1 star in July of the 7th year. Congratulations, your hospital has been awarded a 1-star rating by the 2-Point Health Ministry. I remember being forced to visit the beaches of Sweaty Palms as a child. There was something about that incessant sun and the threat of molten lava that played on my nerves. I'm pleased to see that you seem to be faring much better, with the heat and the threat of natural disasters, than the young Foxbridge. Continue to perspire for more rewards, or go elsewhere and expand your organization. Requirements to hit 2-star hospital: cure 100 patients, cure rate of 75%, hospital value of 2 million, and thermal comfort of 75%. In November of the 7th year, there was another fire, and that was when I realized that the fire extinguishers are not automatically replaced by the janitors. That brings up a very serious question here. Why wouldn't the game have an option to allow us to allow the janitors to automatically replace fire extinguishers that they have used? The expenses could be automatically added to the monthly expenses and deducted at the end of the month, or be automatically deducted from the balance whenever the fire extinguishers are replaced. Even if the balance is negative, we have already seen how the game handles negative balances. The expenses of replacing the fire extinguishers will just be added to the negative balance. Without automatic replacement of the fire extinguishers, it made completing 3 stars for this hospital a total nightmare. We had to micromanage every clinic, every location, ensure that they have fire extinguishers, and make sure they're timely replaced. A good thing that the game did for us though is to notify us of volcanic eruptions. Between the notification and the actual event, there's a period of time we can pause the game, and therefore we can use this time to check and add fire extinguishers that have been consumed. The problem with these fires was that upgraded equipments get thoroughly destroyed and have to be replaced with a new unupgraded equipment, and therefore require money and time to upgrade them again. Amidst fighting fires, fighting against time to replace destroyed machines due to the fires, and I guess in a way, fighting against the lack of automation in fire extinguisher replacements, we got to October of the 10th year, where we finally got our 2 stars rating. Congratulations! Your hospital has been awarded a 2-star rating by the 2-Point Health Ministry. It is clear that the allure of the so-called beach life has been outmatched by your devotion to your post. I applaud this rousing display of priorities. Continue to perspire for more rewards or go elsewhere and expand your organization. We'll have to stay here. The 3 stars requirement include curing 200 patients, a cure rate of 90%, hospital value of 5 million, and thermal comfort level of 90%. Actually, the thermal comfort level should be manageable. Also, curing 200 patients was completed by the end of the 12th year. We know that cure rate can be obtained by increasing the diagnosis threshold. However, as mentioned in the last episode, this change will affect the income, so it can only be changed when our hospital value is very safely above 5 million. So in this playthrough, I adopted a rather unconventional method of trying to obtain cure rate of 90% first, and that's thanks to our good equipment, which were often destroyed by fire and had to be replaced and re-upgraded, as well as our team of promptly trained, highly trained medical professionals. In this playthrough, I simply changed the diagnosis threshold to 85%. Then, in May of the 19th year, I got to 5 million hospital value. How did we still not get 3 stars? By keeping thermal comfort level below 90%. In that case, we can pause the game and add air conditioners to bring thermal comfort level to 90%. I shouldn't have gotten all 9 buildings. It drastically increased the number of patients that come to our hospital. However, I did not fully utilize the floor space to add clinics. It led to frequent severe overcrowding and resulted in an unusually high number of patients not being able to go through the entire diagnosis and treatment cycle. That also negatively impacted our efforts to bring the hospital value and cure rate to the required levels. Therefore, it took another almost 9 years before we got to 3 stars in May of the 19th year. Congratulations, your hospital has been awarded a 3-star rating by 2 Point Health Ministry. It is positively heartwarming to learn that the environment is no match for ruthless administration. I'm sure that you are swiftly becoming the hero of bureaucrats everywhere. In summary, this hospital wouldn't have been so difficult had it not been for the lack of automated fire extinguisher replacement. Of course, we should have implicitly understood that fire extinguishers would be consumed whenever there's a fire, and there were lots of fires due to the burning rocks from the volcanic eruptions. We could also learn something from the new technology and the new illness introduced. Cryptology only cures one illness, premature mummification. That means we most likely do not need more than one of these clinics. Anyway, despite having obtained 3-star rating, we stayed for another year before leaving the Sweaty Palms Hospital. And as you can see on screen, we have a very well-trained team of professionals on our employee roster. Doctors, nurses, assistants, and janitors. A total of 125 employees. The 30 janitors though, I roughly calculated the number of rooms I have built. If I did not make a mistake, it should be 67. Assuming we put one janitor in charge of every 3 rooms, that would give us about 22 to 23 janitors. And then, every building gets about 2 janitors. We have 9 buildings. That should be a total of 18 janitors. In that case, we should have a total of 40 janitors. Therefore, 30 might be a little too few. And as you can see on screen, as we leave the hospital, the GP clinics and some other clinics were overwhelmed with patients. It does not mean that this hospital is not sustainable. Simply add more clinics and fully utilize the floor space available, as well as send patients home whenever the hospital gets overcrowded. On top of that, reduce the diagnosis threshold to maybe 70%, 50% to facilitate the movement of patients through the hospital system. Will it negatively affect the cure rate? Not by much, because by now, like I said, all our equipment has been upgraded and can be upgraded if we add new ones. Our team of highly trained medical professionals can also increase the rate of success for the treatment. Alright, Sweaty Palms Hospital, 3 stars. Hospital level, 24. Balance, 1.4 million. Value, 4.2 million. 20 years, 9 months. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.